A 19-story, $165 million high-rise has opened exclusively for homeless residents of Skid Row, Los Angeles, California. How long will this last? Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the Weingart Center, which is officially opened in Los Angeles, California. Now, this, as I said from the beginning, is a 19-story high-rise that costs $165 million or $600,000 per unit. Now, the objective is to get the Skid Row residents off the street and into housing. Now, I don't know how long this is going to last, because the problem with homeless people is usually drugs, specifically in Skid Row. Now, I know some people may be homeless for a variety of reasons that don't include drugs. Maybe somebody's down on their luck, they lost their job, missed their rent payment. Of course, these things are going to happen. But those people, you really don't see them just out screaming and hollering in the patch of filth. You don't see them doing that. They try to stay as low as possible and away from any kind of attention. The people you see on Skid Row are drug addicts. I'm willing to bet all the tea in China, my bottom dollar, that for every at least 8 people out of 10 on Skid Row, there's drugs, alcohol, some kind of substance involved. And when you put them into regular housing, it's not going to go very well. Imagine yourself being a low-income resident in this beautiful place we're going to get to in a minute. Imagine yourself being a resident in this place and your next door neighbor likes to smoke crack all day or cook meth or some other kind of substance. And then they're going to have guests that come over that are engaging in the same thing. It's going to be a mess. Now, I'm going to get into some more anecdotal stories in a minute about living in a drug-infested area. But first, let's get to the actual news clip here. And of course, I will link to everything in the box. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Big celebration for those working to help LA's unhoused population. It's taken 3 years, but the Weingart Tower is finished. The first residents could move in a matter of weeks. Fox 11's Susan Hirasuna joining us live from the 19th floor to give us a tour. Susan.
Yes, and Christine, let me just tell you, this is just one of the common areas for the residents. I want to give you a look at the view from the 19th floor, and let me tell you, this is a view that many people would pay good money for, but here, this building is specifically dedicated and fully dedicated.
I mean, it looks very nice. It looks very, very nice. It's a nice view. It looks well constructed. I don't know how well constructed it is, but it looks nice.
To those who are low income or unhoused.
But most housing projects, which is what this is, most housing projects look nice when they're first constructed. Oh, yeah. I got family members in West Virginia. They were telling me about how nice the projects were when they first moved in. You know, back in the 50s, maybe, when they first built them, were beautiful. The problem with housing projects, aside from sometimes you may have poor maintenance from the city level, aside from that, it's the people that live there that make them nightmares.
1, 2, cut.
And you can see right here in the very front, you have Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles. And of course, right next to her, her partner in crime, Mad Max, Maxine Waters, of course. Got a brand new wig for this occasion, all that good stuff.
Big name politicos posed for the ribbon cutting to celebrate the completion of Weingart Tower 1. 3 years of construction, and now the 19th floor high-rise is oh so close to welcoming the first of 278 tenants.
I know voters say, I voted for Proposition H, I voted for HHH, and I haven't seen anything. Well, now you can see what HHH has done.
And what HHH has done is build an affordable apartment community. There are 47 one-bedroom apartments and 228 studio apartments, complete with linens, cookware, and dinnerware.
It's a blessing.
Shannon Gresham and Amaya Baca are already greenlit to move into one of the studio apartments.
I started off homeless for 3 years. I didn't really think it was no other life than this right here. You know, when I was on the streets for 3 years, I didn't think I'd make it this far.
Of course, I'm going to be cooking and doing decorating everything in there. You know, it's my own little house.
To qualify, prospective tenants will apply, agree to participate in programs determined by a case manager.
Now, what kind of programs are we talking about? What ways to stop smoking crack all day? And the people they just showed, they look like they are not into the drugs and everything. I mean, but I can't really tell all the time I'm looking at somebody, but they look to be pretty clean. And of course, they're going to show these kind of people to the cameras to make it look like, hey, people that are moving in here are not going to be smoking drugs all day. They're not going to tear stuff apart. But all it takes is just for a small population of people that are going to be in here to do that, to bring down the entire building. What happens when one person has a meth lab and it blows up, or they're smoking their drugs, fall asleep, or they're just careless, leaving the candle? Like, it don't take much to destroy these places. They go from looking beautiful to looking like condemned structures in a matter of months. What's the over-under, in your opinion, about how long it'll take before this place starts to have some problems? Let's keep on going.
And pay roughly 30% of their income, as is required for Section 8 housing.
Some of the people who are tenants here will have jobs, will already have jobs and happen to be homeless. Some are on disability or Social Security, where it's enough to kind of keep them surviving, but not enough to actually have an apartment.
It's the services on site.
Now, what he said was correct. Sometimes you have people that are working who are actually homeless. They just they don't make enough to really find somewhere to live. So they're just kind of out on the street. But again, these are not the people you see out there in Skid Row. That's not who you're going to see in the patch of filth in the tent. Typically, that's not what that is.
That will encourage success for future residents that might need to relearn how to live housed.
The amenities that are here, I know, are going to be talked about in a way that is not so positive. A gym, music, art, recreation are all the things that are needed to heal, that are all a part of mental health.
Now, look, the place looks beautiful. If this place was in a better location, meaning not Los Angeles, I would live there. And also, I don't want to live next door to a crack smoker. I really, really don't want to do that. But let's let them continue.
The caseworker for that young couple we just introduced you to told me that they could move in before the end of the month. However, the CEO, Kevin Murray, he says, well, there's some things that still need to be signed off before there could be full occupancy here at Weingart Tower 1. And this is just the first one. Tower 2 is being built. Reporting live in downtown LA, I'm Susan Hirasuna. Fox.
So that's what's happening out there in Los Angeles, Skid Row. You have a brand new $165 million high-rise, 19 stories, that's going to be exclusively for homeless, underhoused, and very low-income people. Now, listen, as I was saying from the beginning, what makes a place like this go from looking very beautiful as it is to not so much to a dangerous project is the people that live there exclusively. Now, again, sometimes you have people that are just, you have the city not doing what they're supposed to be doing as far as the maintenance, but I mean, how much maintenance can prevent somebody from burning their house down because they were smoking crack and then some curtains caught on fire? Or they're just doing things in the building they shouldn't be doing, bringing around the wrong kind of element. You're going to have girls in there bringing certain guys all hours of the night because they were doing that on the street. You're going to have a big mess. And it's going to be a constant battle to try and fight away those who are going to make this place be inhospitable. And then you got a high rise, so somebody might get a little bit depressed and try to jump. I don't hope they do that, but that can happen. Here's a video from New York City. This is not Los Angeles. This is not the Weingart Tower. This is in New York. Okay, but this person right here is throwing things from the very top down to the ground below. All right. Now, this very same thing can happen at the Weingart Tower. Because you're dealing with people that have mental issues, and a lot of the mental issues are brought on by drug use, past trauma, things of this nature. This piece right here, it floated down to the ground below, and it hit a city bus. Okay, it hit a city bus. The bus could have crashed. It could have hit somebody in the head. That kind of thing can happen when you have people who are not used to living in anything nice. They've been on the streets for a long time, probably on drugs. that kind of thing can happen. Now, I hope, as I close, the best for people who are legitimately just going through a tough time and need some assistance. I hope the best for them. But again, we're talking about Skid Row here. We're talking about Los Angeles. I just covered a story about a homeless man had to get deleted by a USC student because he's breaking into cars. You're going to have that kind of element in the building, which is going to cause a lot of problems. So we're going to see, keep your eyes on this story. Weingart Tower 1 just got completed. Then they're going to have Weingart Tower 2. Keep an eye, like this is going to be a social experiment. Keep your eyes on how these things play out. And then you're going to see if my words come true or if they don't. And if I was a betting man, I think that I'd be correct versus people like Karen Bass, who might not really want to tell you the truth about what's happening with these things. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about this $165 million high-rise tower exclusively for, what do you say, underhoused or low-income homeless people in Skid Row, Los Angeles, California? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. What's your opinion about the people who live in Skid Row? Are they just down on their luck, having a hard time? Is that the majority? Or is it majority drug users who have serious mental health problems? Also, I think there's like 31,000 homeless in New York, not New York, in Los Angeles. Maybe even the Skid Row might be the population of homeless. This is going to have 235 resident occupancy in this building that costs $600,000 per unit, $165 million in total. What's your opinion about that? Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.